right, thank you everyone for joining our webinar today. My name is Gabriel Buck and I'm the CEO and founder of ClickPoint Software. It's my pleasure to really show you today with Jeff Knight, the founder of The Offer Machine, how you can start a lead gen business with as little obstacles as possible. So before we get started, if you don't know who our speakers are, I want to give you a little bit of background on where we come from and how we got to where we're at today. So first of all, I started off as a VP of Sales and online lead generation back in 2003, and it was a pretty great time to really get into the business and understand how the lead generation space worked. Mortgage leads were something that was just expanding and growing business at the time, and I was able to really see that there were a lot of bottlenecks. We were working with larger financial institutions that had a fractured process. They were 15 to 30 people in a marketing department shuffling around leads, not really able to work with lead generation companies very well and give them statistics on what leads were accepted and which leads were sold, things like that. So with these major inefficiencies, we decided to start ClickPoint Software with a vision of helping lead generation firms as well as companies that bought and sold leads to really create a much more solid process of finding out and finding the best lead providers and delivering the best leads where they needed to go in a variety of ways, whether it was email, whether it was post, all the electronic ways to send and deliver leads was our top priority, and to make that process really, really efficient. So understanding how these companies were having these breakdowns and inefficiencies in the way that they were managing and delivering leads, we at ClickPoint found a lot of opportunity and a lot of ways to help lead generation companies get off the ground fast. And we're going to cover that today in the webinar, and we're really going to show you how to break down those technological hurdles. So with that, I'm going to let Jeff give you his background so you know his qualifications as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Gabe. We appreciate the opportunity to do this webinar with you. And don't be concerned. This is not going to be Gabe and I waxing on poetic about our experience. However, we do think it's pretty important for us to just properly introduce ourselves to you so you can understand where we've come and what we've done as a result. We've been in the trenches in lead gen for many years in a variety of ways, and the end result allowed us to create the technologies that we have today, which truly, as you will see, will allow you to get into lead gen very quickly and easily, coupling our two technologies together. So just real quickly on me, been at it for 20 years in the direct marketing space. This was all pre-internet stuff as well as obviously internet. Did a lot of old school TV, radio, print, lead gen call centers. We built a company that grew to $1 million a month in the direct marketing space. Eventually did the same thing with an internet service provider, which resulted in selling directly to United Online, aka Net Zero, 100% built through this direct marketing channel. After that, became a super affiliate in the financial space. We basically learned the online space, like I said before, being in the trenches, going in, building offers, driving traffic, and eventually became a super affiliate. And one of our biggest hurdles was the technology at first. It was. And we found that in order to execute on some ideas and to really maximize some of the potential opportunities that exist in this space, you need to have a solid technological backbone that is not reliant upon developers to execute. So what we've come to find is that having that has allowed us to get to the place where we are today, and most importantly for everybody on this call, to allow us to create a technology that, when harmonized with ClickPoint Software, really creates this lead gen in a box type opportunity to give folks the ability to get in on the ground floor of lead gen and start making money immediately without having to build big technological infrastructures. Gabe and I have already done that.
Great, thanks, Jeff. And I think one of the things that's really important, is that Jeff and I met at LeadsCon and we had a great conversation. And we're going about it a little bit differently at ClickPoint. We're focusing on helping to deliver the leads and score your leads and route the leads and all the things that we're going to show you in the webinar today. And Jeff's side is really focused on the lead acquisition and setting up a solution that works turnkey to get you launched pretty quickly on the marketing side. And the two of us sat down one day and we said, wow, putting those two products together is going to be really powerful. And that's what we're going to show you today. quickly, we're going to talk about the opportunity for our customers. Generally, the lead generation industry, everybody knows, is a multi-billion-dollar industry. 72%, if you don't know this, of LeadExec users, which is our lead delivery and distribution platform, are collecting more than $25,000 a month in lead revenue. And it's significant, and that's what the opportunity is. And we really, at ClickPoint, take a consultative approach to help our customers get off the ground, but we also want them to understand what the risks are. The risks are that you dedicate a good portion of your life and several months to getting your software and solution off the ground, and if you don't have those technological tools to help you really do it well, you're going to find yourself really struggling to get out of the gate.
Hey, let me just interrupt you real quickly to say one thing on that point is that another element that we've seen is the change that exists in this environment, which is ever present. And we are full-time, obviously, building technological solutions to address this marketplace. There's things such as the TCPA compliance, which came up recently, didn't exist, obviously, a year ago. And, well, Gabe is going to show you how he built a solution to address that and really protect people from a legal perspective, and then couple that with our technology to be sure that you're collecting the right information. So my point in just interrupting Gabe there is just to say that not only is there a lot of stuff to build this technology, a lot of stuff required to build this technology in the first place, but to keep up with the changes that are required, technological, legal, what have you, it just can help a business propel forward so much faster when you don't have to worry about that, when you can rely upon trusted technology partners such as our two companies.
Yeah, that's a great point, Jeff. And one of the things that I really tell a lot of people that are looking to get into the lead gen space is that most of them come from another company where they've been doing marketing, and they think that because they have a marketing background and they understand how to create leads, that lead gen should come easily. But what they're not understanding is that setting up complex routing and setting up posts to deliver leads electronically into your buyer systems and all of these technological hurdles are things that they haven't really dealt with because the developers or the IT or the technologists at the company that they were at before were the ones handling those types of things. And so, what you really find with the combination of ClickPoint and the offer machine is that you have that technical assistance. You have a partner that's going to help you do a lot of those technical aspects that you were really never trained to do and are outside of your wheelhouse.
And then
I think that's a really important point.
That's definitely an important point. And just to round things out as it relates to what the offer machine does is it may not be seen as technological, but things to make your offers propel and to really succeed, i.e. speaking to the right person at the right time, making sure that you're presenting graphics for a mom with a minivan as opposed to a banker on Wall Street with a suit and tie, and the subtle nuances there that you can make, and when you do make and you should be making, can make such a dramatic, have such a dramatic effect on your bottom line. We've seen, even in very, very large companies with big technological staffs, making those kind of changes, frankly, it's not what a developer wants to do. It's not really high on the priority list for a designer. However, what it can mean for the bottom line is significant. So both on the back-end routing and other elements that Gabe's going to show you momentarily, that kind of workload that can be completely, frankly, removed, in addition to all of the ongoing changes that you need to make on the front-end side of building the offers, are key to getting you to the point where
Absolutely.
So.
Yep. Absolutely. And one last thing I'll say before we move on to the next slide is that you see all these verticals that are down here. And when we say vertical, those are emerging lead generation industries. And one of the most important things that you'll see here, we say 100-plus unique lead verticals and growing that are available in LeadExec. Jeff was absolutely right. You're going to need to be adaptable to change as a lead generation company. We've had several clients that back in the mortgage boom had to pivot very quickly and move into education or student loans or some of the other verticals. And now mortgage just enjoyed a really great 3-year run, and now a lot of people are pivoting from mortgage again into to other verticals. And so you need to be able to adapt to change very, very quickly in this environment. And that's one of the biggest benefits that you're going to see in working with both ClickPoint, where we allow you to pick verticals very quickly. You don't have a lot of setup time. And then on the offer machine side, you're able to create those offers and those landing pages and those websites and the marketing to capture those leads to go along with it very, very quickly. So you can pivot, so you can move, so you can adapt to the changes in the marketplace that are going to start coming at you pretty quickly.
And you can take all of those different lead types that exist in ClickPoint that are already built, suck them into Tom, aka the offer machine, and automatically create an integration. So all that work is done, and then spawn a form that has all of the fields that are baked into the integration. So we look forward to showing you that momentarily.
Absolutely. Before we get into the technological the problems that we solve with QuickPoints LeadExec and with the offer machine, just a real quick overview of some of the clients that we have at QuickPoints Software. We're at 150 plus lead generation companies. Several Fortune 500, Fortune 1000 companies use LeadExec and rely on it to distribute leads every day. We're backed by founders of LeadsCon. We just won our second Leader Award for Best Lead Distribution Partner by the Leads Council. And I know that those things aren't going to help you learn how to start a lead generation company, but you should know that the partner that you're picking is one that has a great reputation in the industry and is used widely by most lead generation companies that are out there today. So now let's talk real quick about the hurdles to starting a lead generation business with technology. One of the things that we always have said, and Jeff and me really agree on, is that your job as a marketer in a lead generation company is to create more leads. That's probably what you're best at. The other real big problem that you have to solve is finding buyers, and that's going to take up a lot of your time. So the two circles that we have here in the diagram to show you some of the things that we help out with is both on the technology and on the marketing side. So for instance, lead fields and forms. Being able to pick any lead field, whether it's insurance, mortgage, student loans, online education, you name it, it's pre-built into LeadExec so that if you need to add fields, you can do it, but all of those types of lead fields are already there. Sending out post-lead delivery. Okay, you're going to have to send out leads via XML, HTTP post, GET, SOAP, ping and post. All of that is available in LeadExec, and we have dedicated support agents to help you do that. Getting your hands on really solid reporting. We have pre-baked reporting, but we also have reporting that is customized to whatever type of reporting that you need. Every company is different. That's one thing me and Jeff can tell you. Over the years, every lead gen company has some secret sauce or some secret way that they have a way of getting the margin that they need in being successful. And so you need to have very flexible reporting. You also need to be able to run orders. You need to be able to have large clients that are going to fulfill most of your lead volume, but then smaller clients that are going to really help your profit margin by placing pre-ordered amounts of leads, whether it's a quantity of 100 or 1,000, paying by a credit card, and LeadExec gives you that capability. You also need to be able to manage a lot of different lead sources. You're going to probably have your own organic leads, which you should, but you're also going to want to offset volume at a certain point in your growth by bringing on additional lead sources that can give you that. And you need to be able to manage them. You need to be able to run quality checks on them and ensure that the data and the leads that they are providing to you are the best quality for your buyers so that you don't risk losing them. Awesome. And you really need to have a very strong lead quality solution. You have to be able to weed out bad leads, duplicates, leads that have invalid information or phone numbers. If you're not already doing it on your form, you need to be able to do it within your lead distribution and lead routing solution.
And on the marketing side, well, just to reiterate a point that I already made about the TCPA solution, this business changes so quickly we didn't even get a chance to pop that into the presentation that we're showing you now, but there's a legal compliance benefit that comes along with our two technologies now. Obviously, landing pages. We've read some studies and witnessed firsthand that companies that have 40-plus landing pages for one particular offer have dramatically higher success rates because they're out there. I gave you the example of the mom with the minivan or the Wall Street bankers with a suit and tie, and how different people are going to receive different offers. Well, it's vitally important to make sure that your offers, your landing page, and your look and feel is reflecting and communicating that feel to your prospective client. Forms. You don't want to ask the wrong question to the wrong person at the wrong time. You want to ask somebody, are you a homeowner? And if they're a homeowner, well, there's a whole slew of questions you're going to ask that are germane to that. If they're not, if they're renting an apartment, there's a whole different question set. So you want your forms to be dynamic based on the rule sets that you build in there. If you're working in some kind of a performance marketing channel where you need to place a pixel, whether it's from some affiliate tracking software, whether it's with Google AdWords, you can place that pixel and then track a variety of different events, really customizable to the form fields and the questions that are asked and how they're answered. So if somebody's not a homeowner, you could choose to suppress a pixel fire in that situation. You're going to see that in a moment when we show you the demo. Integrations. Now this is really Gabe and ClickPoint's specialty, but we get your data posted over to ClickPoint so that you can benefit from the robust ping trees, etc., that's available with LeadExec. And fraud. We talked about lead quality. Gabe mentioned something about lead quality, but fraud, you want to stop that fraud sometimes before it even can get too far. So if you want to suppress a pixel fire and make sure you're not paying a bad actor affiliate traffic source, if you see fraud, you can do that. If you want to make sure that the data is never sent to ClickPoint and in turn never even sent to your buyer to upset them, you can stop that integration based on a fraud score being too high. These are kind of things that are constantly needing to be tweaked, changed. Change is ever present in this industry. And with these two solutions, you have the ability to do that and make sure that you're focusing on the things that Gabe had said before, which is your buyers, your sellers, tweaking your marketing, and driving traffic.
Great. All right, let's get into the software demonstration part. I'm sure everybody is anxious to see how we do it at ClickPoint Software and how we do it at the Offer Machine. So I'm just going to go ahead and open up LeadExec. This is the main dash of LeadExec, and the first thing that I want to show you is what we talked about. Hurdle number one, getting out of the box quickly, getting your lead fields set up very fast. So I'm just going to go into settings, and you'll notice this is a multi-tab interface, which our clients love, which means they can open up lots of different tabs within the software. And you'll see here that we have a couple of different lead types here, and lead type is really just the vertical that you're in. So I'm going to go ahead and click New. And this is our lead type library. Now, our lead type library has a lot of lead types that are already preloaded, like we said, and it really makes it easy for you to get out of the gate really quick. So if I selected mortgage here, for instance, I have home purchase, loan modification, mortgage long, mortgage short, real estate, all different types of lead verticals that relate to mortgage. So if I go back here to home purchase, and I want to change one of these, move it up, move it down, I can do that very easily. If I want to add a custom lead type, I can do that too. But the point is that when I start a lead generation company, I can very easily come in here and pick my lead type, get it set up, and then it completely integrates with the Offer Machine, meaning that it saves you a tremendous amount of time in setting up these types of fields that can then be used in a landing page, form, or website. All right, so the next thing I'm going to show you is, before we get into the side of the Offer Machine, how their solution works and integrates with LeadExec, I just want to quickly show you setting up a lead source and some of the additional things that you can do. So we're going to come in here and we're going to open up the Offer Machine as a lead source. And we're going to open up campaigns. And I'm going to go ahead and edit this. And this is going to show you some of the quality options that you have, because one of the big hurdles, like we said, is lead fields. One of the other big hurdles that you have is lead quality. So when I set up a new lead source, which is going to be integrated with the Offer Machine, I'm going to put in here the name that it's a life insurance landing page, and I'm going to say it's active and we're paying $20 per lead. Then I get into quantity limits. I can limit a vendor or a third-party lead source by hour, by day, or by month. I can also put in the maximum time I want to sell this lead. I can put in additional things like check rejected and duplicate day settings. So if I have a lead source that I really trust, we've got a great relationship, I'm probably going to run just a 30-day dupe check. However, if I start with a new provider that I've never worked with before, maybe I put in a 300-day duplicate day check. And that's all out of the box with LeadExec. I can also append city and state. So if I get a zip code or if I get other pertinent information, LeadExec will go ahead and append that for you. The other thing I want to show you real quick that we're going to show on the Offer Machine side is the TCPA quality check. So with TCPA, what we do is we allow you to put in your own consent text. This is a patent pending solution. So I could say I have given permission to be called via cell phone. Now, obviously, this is a pretty basic consent. And if you leave this blank, it's going to default to our best interpretation of what we think you should put on your form. All you have to do is generate a form script right here, and then it provides you with the code to build right into your landing page or website. Now, this TCPA check, what it really does for you is it provides a certificate on the lead. First of all, it proves that the person that filled out a form on your side saw the consent text and agreed to be called by their cell phone. If you're not familiar with all the rules of TCPA, we've got a great white paper on it. I'll actually offer that up with this webinar. Once you're done, you can download it, and we'll also send it to you. But the TCPA essentially states that you need to have consent text on your forms, and that a potential lead has to have seen that consent text in order to be called via their mobile phone. So it's a pretty big deal. You really need to make sure that you have it. And what we've done at ClickPoint is say, not only are we going to create this consent text for you and make sure that it's on your forms and your landing page and that a potential lead saw it, we're going to create a certificate that's really locked tight. We're going to track analytic data, like what form they were on, how long they were on your site. We're going to do a reverse IP address lookup. All of these things to really create a very strong certificate for you. We also can do things like standardized address. So if somebody submits to you a lead and the address is incorrect, we run it up against the USPS Postal Service database, and we correct that address for you. We can do things like reject for no sale and reject for no coverage, which is huge for the lead gen industry. If I had this 6 or 7 years ago, it would have been profound for our company because it means that you don't have to hold on to lead inventory. You're only paying for leads from third parties or for any advertising partners that you can actually sell. Instead of prepaying for leads and saying, I'll pay a certain amount for this lead with this type of criteria, you're saying, I will take everything you can send me, but if I don't have a buyer for it, we're going to go ahead and reject it. Additionally, you can set up any criteria. So we have a lot of different criteria sets based on the lead fields that you're collecting. So to give you an example, if I was to say I wanted to put a zip code criteria on this provider or on this buyer, my buyer wants to get leads that are with 10 miles of 85254 as a zip code, you can do that with our system. You can import zip codes. You can import country codes. You can import postal codes. You can create criteria for things like loan amounts, for LTV, calculated fields. So pretty much any type of value that is found on your fields, you can use as a criteria in order to deliver the leads to your buyers. And that's just a great way to prevent leads that are outside of your acceptable range from ever making it into your system. So those are some of the quality checks that we provide with LeadExec that really help you produce a higher quality lead. Now I'm going to turn it over to Jeff so he can show you how he integrates with the LeadExec solution and how you can start your business much, much faster with his solution.
All right, cool. Alrighty, so here's my screen, and we're going to show you the front end of things, basically how we create in this case, a fictitious life insurance offer in minutes, and how that can then add in some of the TCPA legalese that we talked about. We're going to show how we can build a form that meshes with what Gabe just built, and then an integration that directly syncs with what Gabe is doing, and then you're going to see the passover of the lead that was collected on this offer that we're about to make, getting passed over to LeadExec so they can work their magic and get it distributed to all your buyers. So on this page is really where we always start an offer, which is with a form. So I'm going to go in here and create a form. So we're creating a life insurance webinar form. You select a domain that's associated with that particular offer. You can point any subdomains you want or just any new domain, and it'll resolve accordingly. We are directly connected with Google Analytics, so if you're not using Google Analytics, you really should, just to get a really crystal clear view of people as they progress through your site. Easily done. Every offer that's built on Tom directly connects so long as you have that GA number. Depending upon where you're marketing, it's a big world out there, and we can help people create offers for any place in it. So depending upon what regional option you select here, what country code you utilize, that's then going to marry up with how a phone number is collected or how a zip or postal code is collected, and it will add on some additional validation elements to ensure that the data is being collected in the proper format or prompt your consumer to change it. Alright, presets. So presets can save you a ton of time. A preset is basically very similar to what Gabe had just shown you with his preset integrations. We've got some preset forms. We've got a couple that we're going to show you for purposes of this webinar today. I'm going to choose life insurance, and then when I hit the save button, let me close the wizard, it is going to automatically create that offer and the form associated with that offer in the background. So here it is. We've got the different questions that are all represented in these blocks here. You can just drag and drop things around quickly and easily if you want to change the order of things for whatever reason. And there's a lot of custom editing that we can do. Actually, I'm going to start off by showing you what the offer looks like right now. And there's not too much to see, but the reason for me showing it to you now is so you can see how quickly and easily it is to turn this into something which is going to convert for you. So right now we just have a blank offer, a couple questions that are being asked, and that's about it. Let's go in and make that a little bit more robust. If you want to change the design, if you found out that when you're targeting your moms that are just whoever likes pink, you want to use pink as a font color, you can do that. Make the size a little bit larger of the form field, apply it to the entire section, save it. While I'm at it, let me show you a couple other things related to changing the formatting of TCPA consent. If you wanted to change where things are associated on the page, you can change the placement basically. So if you want a question to be above the answer text, you can do that. You can change fonts, you can put custom design in there if you want to do some kind of header information above what you're doing. The question that you're asking, you can do that. You can select a progress bar that will grow as people progress through your form if it's a particularly long form and you want to indicate to them how far along they are. So we're going to go in and we're going to see some of the changes that we just made here with, here's my pink, and obviously it's still just a blank canvas here. There's a lot more to do, but we can do it very quickly. There's a whole host of additional items that I could walk you through here. We have a variety of different question types. I'm not going to walk through every single one, but suffice it to say that over the 5 years of software being used, it's been built to accommodate every client need that we've ever encountered. Radio buttons, drop downs, zip code specific question, numbers only, etc. If you wanted to insert a pixel here, let's say you were connected with Google AdWords and you saved a pixel, you can then not only save that pixel so it fires and reports back to, in this case, Google AdWords, but you can also apply a condition. So if you had a condition where you only wanted, let's say, a performance marketing tracking software pixel to fire and pay a traffic source only on a particular condition, you can go ahead and do that based on the data that's collected in your variables. So as an example, let's say smoker. If smoker was a variable that existed in this form and it equals no, then maybe in that situation you don't want the pixel to fire. So, or excuse me, the converse of that. So we just basically built a rule that said if smoker equals no, it's okay for the pixel to fire. Basically, if you're not going to get paid from your life insurance buyer, you might not want to pay out your traffic source. We have skip conditions to jump around and ask the right question to the right person at the right time. Repeater questions, the same questions that might need to be repeated. Pops up and under. Those kind of options, you can pre-fill them with some of the variable data that you've collected here previously in the form. There's a lot more bells and whistles, but let me get right to the page design and show you what that looks like. Alright, we've got a number of templates that exist to really speed up the design portion of your offer building, or of course you can start from scratch and build something. Some of these are just previews of different things that exist that you can change the color scheme of, etc., etc. I'm going to choose a life insurance example for purposes of today. And then now you're going to see my pretty pink or purple fields that I created here. All this was built with drag and drop. And let me just make a couple quick changes to it just so you can get the point as to what we did, how we did it. If you want to change your call to action, you can do that easily. Make it bold, save it, change the sizing around real quickly and easily. If you want to add an image, you can go ahead and add new images. Who doesn't like a good penguin? You can add them here. And what else did I want to show you? We have some advanced feature sets, and one of them that I'm about to show you is going to be for the TCPA compliance, which is incorporated by utilizing JavaScript. But if you wanted to incorporate JavaScript for any other feature set, you can do that. If you had a CSS that you've already built, you can do that. If you had some HTML that you wanted to drag in, you can drag in some custom HTML. So basically our form or our page builder was built for somebody who is a complete novice as it comes to design, but they know it looks good. They want to go in and like move things around quickly and easily. But it's also built to accommodate the needs of designers with CSS and potentially some additional feature sets you might need to be deployed via JavaScript. Instead of dragging and dropping, if you wanted to move things around, by putting an absolute position, you've got the ability to do that. Completely up to you. Let me show you how we add the TCPA compliance script. So here's the JavaScript manager. Gabe had showed you a moment ago how you can go and change things around and collect your JavaScript, and it's going to spit out whatever has been put in there. I had collected this JavaScript previously, so it's going to, I believe, show the standard LeadExec message here. But when I save it, when I give it a name so I know what it is, CP TCPA language, then now we have a situation where when we resolve the page, we're going to be able to see that script in a moment. Everything is 100% mobile optimized. You know what? Why don't I just show you that on a live browser? So when I drag this guy back in here and I hit F5, we're going to see a couple things happen. Obviously, the design that we just built, and then you see here's the JavaScript or the TCPA compliance code, which is hiding behind this button. I can change that pretty quickly and easily. You just go back to the editor, take your button, drag it down a little bit, save it, come back, refresh the page. Should be able to read the legalese at this point. So I think you can see how quickly and easily it is, or you can build a custom page. And back to one of the points that I made previously about how we've seen businesses with 40+ landing pages just have so much more success. This stuff matters. It's stuff that we've found a lot of designers and developers don't want to do, but it has a dramatic impact into your bottom line. The ability to come in and change your call to action, put a different image here. As crazy as it may sound, change the colors. We've seen different color schemes of form fields work different ways. Maybe collect a zip code, no contact information on the first page first. There's a variety of different things that you just need to test in order to maximize your revenue. So let me do one more thing, which will be to connect the integrations, and then I'm going to come back to that page and show you how I'll build an integration, come back to that page, fill out a lead, and then show you how the data gets pushed over to LeadExec. Oh, one more thing I meant to show you. I was talking about the importance for responsive pages. Everything we do is responsive, so you can see that the form just jumps. So if your visitors are opening it up on a mobile phone, it's going to look great on a mobile phone, a tablet, or a browser. Alrighty, so we are connected with LeadExec, and if you have an account with LeadExec, you sign in using your credentials. I might already be signed in. We're about to find out in a moment. This is basically like OAuth or sign in with Facebook, sign in with Twitter, that kind of thing, sign in with Gmail. So I'm signing in this case, with my credentials for LeadExec. And once I do that, essentially what it's going to do is, well, first it's going to make sure that I want to do this. Is the offer machine trusted to get all this data from the LeadExec database that we just saw? Of course, I'm going to grant the access, and then that will give me the ability to hop over and pull down some custom integration data, which is specific to the LeadExec platform. Alrighty, so we've been granted access, and by clicking this tab, we're going to go over to integrations. Now, instead of creating a integration from scratch bit by bit, we're going to create a LeadExec integration, which translates to all the hard work and the heavy lifting is done for you. You're going to save a ton of time with this and a lot of money in terms of what you would be paying a developer. So here are all the lead sources.
If I could just jump in and make one real quick point,
yeah.
Is that most of our clients that come on, the biggest barrier that they face is getting leads into LeadExec from a variety of their websites and landing pages. And what Jeff just showed you literally broke that barrier down completely. It synced up to LeadExec, where in LeadExec you were able to pick whatever lead types or verticals you wanted, and now you have that available in the offer machine. Now that is a hindrance to you launching your lead gen business. That sometimes takes new customers that come to QuickPoint that try to do it on their own with some type of web developer that's overseas or that they've subcontracted. I mean, it can take months for them to get what Jeff just showed you can be done in a matter of seconds.
Yeah, we've seen biz dev guy at company A connect with his developer at company A, connect with biz dev guy at company B, with the developer at company B, and all this back and forth, really telephone of trying to communicate some of the technological things that need to get done in order to make these kind of integrations happen. It's a time suck and it's a resource suck, but it doesn't need to be when you're working with Tom and LeadExec. So you might recall some of these lead sources that were basically visible when Gabe was showing his part. Whether you did or whether you didn't, this is pulled directly from that system. So I'm going to select the offer machine as a lead source. And then that's going to go into all the campaigns that exist for that lead source, in which, in this case, for purposes of this webinar, it's just this one. And when I click Create Integration, now all those potentially months of back and forth between different developers and the sales guys trying to communicate that stuff, it just happened. It was just built. So I'm going to jump in a little bit and make a couple subtle changes, most importantly making it active, so you're going to be able to see what we're about to do in terms of passing the lead over back to Gabe and ClickPoint. I'm going to select I'm going to associate a form. So we just created this form a moment ago. We want to make sure that all these data points and all these variables that are collected on this form are associated with the integration that we just collected, to ensure that when I hit the, in this case, the Get Started Now button, the data gets pushed over to CP. So associate forms. So go in here, I'm going to select this one because this is the one that we're working on. I'm going to make it a redirect integration. Not really required, but some folks, it's certainly not required for this particular lead type, but I'll just select that because some folks who do lead types that need to redirect to another form at the end, cash advance is one that comes to mind, will require that. The Methods tab, this is a mapping up of the variables that exist on Tom, so these are all Tom variables, with the variables that exist in ClickPoint, and it just made that happen. If you needed to go in and edit one, change one for whatever reason, you can go ahead and do that quickly and easily. Save it. You can go in, there's all sorts of custom mappings and ways where you can build this from scratch. I'm not going to bother spending time showing you that. Suffice it to say, even if we weren't connected with ClickPoint the way that we are, it's still a heck of a lot easier than working in that salesperson to dev to salesperson environment I mentioned before. But I'm not going to get into that because with you as a potential customer of both LeadExec and Tom, you don't even need to worry about that. We're automatically synced. There's one other change that I was going to make here. What was that I wanted to show you? Well, I think this is going to satisfy the requirements of what we're doing. So why don't we save it? I think I already did save it. And then go back into my form and just make sure that I made it active. Okay, that was the first thing that I did. I associated forms and made it active. Okay. With that happening, I can go back into my form and enter some data and then show you how this gets pushed over to LeadExec. Don't ever name your child Tom ClickPoint. All right. I got everything properly formatted. We're going to go with Beverly Hills 90210. Agree to my consent text. Submit the lead. And momentarily, we should be able to see that lead over on the side of ClickPoint. So I'm going to pass the I'll pass the controls back to you, Gabe, and let's watch it happen.
Great. All right, go ahead. Yeah, just go ahead and give me control. All right, lead just came in. So what we're looking at on the LeadExec side is this lead was just submitted, Tom ClickPoint, from the offer machine. This is our lead type map. This is a pretty cool report. Essentially what it's going to show you is demographic information, where you're getting your leads from. You can even get analytic information like refer, if it came from Google, Yahoo, what type of keyword, so that you get market penetration. If you're doing a specific campaign in a state or a city, you can see that with this market penetration map. So this is just one of the reporting tools that we use at LeadExec to give you real-time information about the leads that you're receiving and that you're getting. All right, so the next thing that I want to show you, after you're getting leads in and we've done this great integration with the offer machine, is the next big hurdle. So the next big hurdle, after you have been able to successfully get up a landing page or a form, a new website, you're collecting leads, they're showing up for you on this map, the next big thing that you have to do is you have to figure out how are we going to get those leads to our buyers. And so what I want to show you is how easy it is inside of LeadExec to set up distribution and routing to your buyers. Essentially, routing to your buyers is broken out into three parts. The first part is the delivery method. How are we going to get leads to your buyer? Are we going to deliver them via email? Are we going to deliver them via a post? All these different types. And so I want to show you all the available methods inside of LeadExec because this is really important. This is the biggest barrier that we help you to break down is getting leads to your buyers the way that they need them. You may have some buyers that say we want to get our leads via SalesExec, which is our lead management system, or Velocify, or Salesforce. And when they say that, you're going to need to be able to deliver the leads electronically into those solutions. If I drop this down right here, you're going to see all of the available methods. We can do an HTTP post, GET, XML, direct delivery into SalesExec, which, by the way, is bidirectional. So if I send leads and data into SalesExec, QuickPoint's lead management solution, I can actually get sales information back, such as time that a salesperson took to respond to a lead, how many were closed, things like that, so that I can actually work in partnership with my clients to help them improve lead quality. I can upload leads via electronically to an FTP. We can send out leads via email three different ways. So we can send a lead with a CSV attachment via email with the lead details in the body of the email, or an email with an embedded link that the buyer of your leads would click on, and it would take them right into your web portal to purchase leads, see all of their leads, return leads, that type of thing. You can send the CSV attachment, SOAP, internal system, ping post, batch email delivery, as well as SMS. Additionally, LeadExec has its own phone routing and live call solution, live call transfer solution built in as well. So if you wanted to take an 800 number or a local telephone number and put that on the form that you just created with the offer machine, LeadExec will consume that just like it would an internet lead. And it would route it just like it would an internet lead. So now that you know how many types of ways that you can deliver leads, you know, if I do XML, it's going to give me all of the different settings that I need to do an XML delivery. The next thing that you need to know is how are you going to get those leads to your buyers in ways that are most profitable for you. So for instance, if you had buyer A, buyer B, and buyer C, and one is paying you $55 for a lead versus 40 versus 30, you're probably going to want to fulfill the guy that pays you the most first. LeadExec has automated delivery that is either price-based, percentage-based, weighted, round-robin, or combinations of all of those. So you have the delivery method, you have the automation, how are we going to route based on price or these different types of things, and then you also have the ability to deliver leads based on the criteria which I showed you before. So things like zip codes or loan amounts, or if a particular buyer only wants refinance leads versus purchase leads, etc. And you have that capability. The next thing I want to show you quickly, because I know we're going a little bit close to our deadline here, is the reporting. Having reporting at your fingertips that is really powerful is going to make all the difference in the world to you. So with LeadExec, you have a lot of different data-driven reports. So for instance, if I open up one of these reports, and I'm going to pull back a month's worth of data here, it's going to show me all of the leads that have ever hit my system with this search lead screen. You also have a quality control bin, a lead maximizer, which is going to show you your leads as they're being sold, client distribution reports, the map, which you already saw. But these types of reports are great because for marketers, I can see a lot of information. I can see things like my cost, my revenue, my profit, all within this screen that can be exported very easily to CSV or Excel, or I can run pivot grid reports, very advanced reports off all this data. It's also easily customized. So I can say, I want cost over here. I want to add some additional fields, so let's put in, call duration or things like that for IVR. I can add that in. I can add the refer. So if I'm getting analytic data here, I can do that. I can do all kinds of different fields here if I'm collecting that information. If I want to open up my pivot grid, I just open up pivot, and I've got some pre-baked reports here. One of them is sales by product date, sales breakdown by marketing source, etc. So I'm just going to hit load, and it's essentially going to run a report that I've built very easily using my pivot grid designer here to tell me things like, all right, well, I'm getting leads from Adderall and Commission Junction and email and Facebook. How much in revenue day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4 did I get from this particular lead source? And then we can even break it down by different products or campaigns, things like that. So these are more advanced reports that we would work with you to create, but you're really going to have your fingertips, access to a lot of different reports and access to data at your fingertips very, very quickly and easily. The Lead Maximizer, I'm just going to show you real quickly as well, gives you even more information about why things are going and being delivered to certain buyers. So I'm going to go ahead and open up another month's worth of data here. And this is going to show me quite a bit of leads, and I can see the lead score, which is another thing that we provide within our solution. And I can see my cost, and I can see the number of times each lead's been sent. I'm going to move cost over here, I'm going to move sends over here, and I'm going to move revenue over here. If I click on any one of these leads, it's going to show me not only what the price and the cost was, but it's going to show me who received the lead over here. So in this example, I sent this lead, sold it 2 times. I paid $10 for it. I sold it for $30. It was sent to Hampton Roads in Fairfax, Virginia. If I want to delve deeper into this, all I have to do is click my View Sold information, and now I'm going to be able to see things like what was the post request. Okay, if this lead was rejected because I sent it to Salesforce and Salesforce rejected it because it was outside of their criteria, I can see that and make changes very quickly. I can also do things like view the scan log and find out exactly why this lead went to these 2 buyers very quickly, or if a lead doesn't get sold at all, why it wasn't sold. So we give you a tremendous amount of tools to really see not only your revenue and your ROI from the leads that you're buying and selling or creating on your own and selling. We also give you a lot of tools to really figure out why leads aren't being sent where they're being sent, or why leads are going to certain buyers versus others, etc. So those are most of the hurdles that we encounter on a day-to-day with a lot of lead gen companies. And this presentation, we're going to make it available for you to download. It's going to talk about all the hurdles that we showed you on the webinar today. Hurdles like lead fields, getting leads from online or offline sources, creating lead quality programs to ensure that the best quality leads are getting to your buyers, setting up landing pages and websites, creating a great offer, and then really breaking it down. What is the combination of LeadExec and the offer machine? Well, it's lead gen in a box. It's as simple as 1, 2, 3. You're going to set up LeadExec, we're going to integrate with the offer machine, and you're going to be able to start your lead gen program and break down the barriers that typically prevent a lot of people from entering this market. Then it's going to show you how do we deliver leads, what is the optimal ways to get them out, how can I manage more lead sources and get great reporting, things like that out of LeadExec, and even the advanced reports, some of the ones that I showed you that are available inside of LeadExec as well. Jeff, do you have anything to add before we close it out?
Just one thing that might interest people as well is that we have a special pricing opportunity as well for anybody who's viewed this webinar. So there's a coupon code available within the PowerPoint that you can download. And other than that, hopefully we've done a great job at showing you just how easy it can be to get into this business and start focusing on the part that's really going to move the needle, which is the marketing, and make sure that you don't get bogged down in the tech hurdles that can be so prevalent in this space. We thank everybody for their time.
Before we hop off, do you want to review that pricing at all, Jeff, so that people know? I am getting a couple questions on the webinar from people asking exactly what the pricing is. Do you have that slide available? Can we review it?
Yeah. Do you want me to take the screen back?
Yeah, I'm going to give it over to you.
Okay. Alrighty. So basically, there's a 20% off savings for Tom based on people who work with ClickPoint and Tom at the same time, based on utilizing this coupon code, which is only available on this particular webinar. So we would encourage you to take advantage of that and experience firsthand just how easy it can be to get off to the races in this multi-billion-dollar industry. And we'd look forward to working with you. So
that's great.
I think that wraps it up. Did you have any other points?
No, I know that we had a lot of questions that came in on the webinar, and we're going to take those offline and respond to them. We had a lot of information to cover. Most of the questions can be answered pretty quickly. We had some pricing questions that came up a couple different times. So I'm going to send that information out to the people that did chime in, and we look forward to working with you. If you want to do a demonstration with either of our companies, we both have product specialists that will jump on with you, do a demo. It's really low pressure. Our goal, and I think that you can kind of hear that from both me and Jeff, is that we're serial entrepreneurs. We love helping other businesses be successful. We're going to look to try and give you some pretty low barriers to entry, not only with the technology but also with the pricing. We feature a month-to-month agreement at ClickPoint Software. We're not locking you into anything long-term. We know that the startup environment can be a little bit volatile, and the last thing you want to do is lock yourself into a 2-year commitment. So we hope that speaks volumes for us and our dedication to helping you get off the ground, and we look forward to working with you.
Excellent. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us today. Have a great day.
Thank you, Jeff. Take care.